welcome to the Movie Dweeb Podcast. If you're a regular listener or viewer to this, thank you for coming back. And if you're new, I will pay you to just go back and listen to all of the rest. Not a lot. I still have a lot of Christmas presents to buy. But speaking of Christmas, today's guest is someone who is pretty jolly. Or should I say, they're pretty Jerry. Probably shouldn't say that. That's not a good pun. I ran with it. I shouldn't have. Instead, I should say, hello, Jim O'Hare.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello. Wow, what a sexy greeting that was.
I have morning voice here, so it's very deep this morning.
If I were you, that's the only voice I'd ever use. I'm not going to lie. It was very, very sexy.
I have no choice. Where are you at? Where are you located?
I'm in London.
London. So what is it there? Like 8 o'clock right now?
It is dead on 8 o'clock.
8 at night.
You've got a sexy voice. You can tell the time. Is there anything you can't do?
There's nothing I can't do. It's almost, it's infuriating. There's nothing I can't do. It's just a gift.
I might just start testing you now. Like, can you do Sudoku?
Actually, I'm pretty shitty at Sudoku.
There we go. One thing I can beat you at.
But pretty good at Wordle.
See, I'm dreadful at that. So you beat me again. Thanks a lot, Jim.
You know, I recently did a film in Barcelona, and it was a 9-hour time difference from here. It is so weird and confusing to figure all that out. You know, like, because you got family here. So I wake up there, you know, sometimes I had a super early call, like, you know, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning, which is really like 9:30 at night. It was all very confusing. So yeah, it must be crazy because you're doing a lot of interviews with people in the States.
See, that's it. I'm always terrified that I'm going to call someone up and they're like, it's 3 in the morning.
In the morning, yes. Yes, that would not be good. Yes. Just so you know, when I get a call at 3 in the morning, I go, hello, somebody better be dead or I'm hanging up. Because that is the only reason to get a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. That is it. There has to be a death. And even then, I'm not sure who it is that would make me want to get up and talk about it at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Whereabouts in the world are you now?
I'm in Los Angeles now. It's gorgeous here. You know, we had a run of horrifically hot weather, like 110, 112 for like a stretch. And so now it's back into like low 80s, which I find is like high 70s, low 80s for a fat guy is like the perfect that's the perfect number. I'm not sweating under my boobs all day long. It's just nice. It's just nice.
Even in like cold London, I still get the underboob sweat just from like going upstairs.
Exactly. Well, breathing will normally bring on sweating for me. Yes, breathing has that effect on me. I actually love London. I hope to get there again soon. I may have been there a number of times, but I hope to be back soon.
When you do, let's go out. Like, let's hit the town.
I'd love to have you buy me an expensive dinner and expensive drinks and introduce me to famous people. I would love that. Thank you, Daniel. Let's put that on the calendar.
Yeah, it sounded like you broke up there, so we're just gonna move on.
No, I'll repeat myself. I said I'd be thrilled.
In that case, I cannot wait to go back to LA because I'm going to rinse you for every damn penny you've got.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'll do it, even if it's me like leaving with your TV under my arm.
Hey, do what you got to do. You can actually even there's one of the pups. You can have one of the pups.
Don't say that too loudly because I'm worried my wife's up against the door with like a cup on the wall. Go, someone's offering a dog. Oh, take it, Daniel, take it.
So the dog, yes. Yeah, well, there's 2 of them, and actually that I would kill you for. I could never give up my little Chase and my Stella. Couldn't do that. They're the world. They're my world.
Hot take, don't want to be murdered by you, so I won't do it.
So don't do it. Let me keep my damn dogs, Daniel.
What would happen if I rang up your phone at 3 a.m. and said, I've got your dogs? Like, is that worth answering the phone just so I can work out the scale?
Oh, damn. Yeah, I think that would be worth it. But then, just so you know, I do have a certain set of skills. And it very quickly, phone calls would be made, and I would have them back, and you might have trouble, let's just say, walking, if you know what I'm saying. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
I'm actually very unfit. I already have trouble walking, so that's not much of a threat.
Yeah, whether I break your knees or not, that's great.
You and your dogs could be like stood 10 feet away from me, and I'd be like, not worth it. He can keep the dogs.
It's not worth it. Let him have it. Whatever.
Well, let's chat about Welcome to Pawnee, your book.
What book? What are you talking about? A book?
You best believe I panicked there. I was frantically about to delete all of my questions.
I have no idea what you're speaking of.
Did I say your book? I meant a book. Let's chat about Harry Potter.
Let's talk about Harry Potter. Yes.
How did this book come about? Did you jot down all of these funny stories over the course of all the episodes, or did you just start on day one writing your book, scrambling for memories like, oh crap, what something funny happened? Like, what was it Chris Pratt said?
Well, the truth is, Daniel, it came to me because the people, the powers that be, some book agents out in New York had reached out and said, "Did you ever think about doing something like that?" And I hadn't, to be perfectly honest. I've learned a lot over the years, and the one thing I've mostly learned is I'm really a hardcore actor. I really love what I do. I love it to my core. And so like I've done producing, I've done a little directing, and I found out I don't like any of that. I like being an actor. So another avenue hadn't really hit on me. But then I thought, wow, a book about a show that I also love to my core, and that was life altering, getting to work with people that were that are to this day my dearest friends. It just kind of made sense. And so I said to them, well, I don't know. I've never written a book. I don't really know how to do any of this. And they said, well, why don't we do we'll do a 2-hour Zoom meeting and we'll just ask you some questions and let's see if it feels like we have a book here. And we were about 30 minutes into the 2-hour Zoom. And they said, Jim, we have a book here. Because, I was telling this story and that story. And, I also, in the book, it's not, I mean, it's certainly Parks and Recreation's, that's the central focus. It's my love letter to the show, but it's I also tell stories. I just turned 105. I don't know if you know that, but I turned 105 years old. So I've been on a lot of shows over the years, Daniel, and it's I tell some crazy stories of other stuff that happened to me also. So yeah, they got very excited, and then I guess they put the word out to potential publishers, and everybody reached out like, yeah. And then everybody wanted it and it became a whole thing. And so basically what I did was I sat down and just told stories about my experiences on the show. We were there for 7 seasons, 126 episodes. And like I said, I've been around and I've done so many different shows over the years, but I can truly say from the bottom of my heart, nothing was ever like Parks and Recreation. It is and not just the quality of the show, because I think it's truly an amazing show. I think the fact that it's withstood the test of time is proof what an amazing show it is. I don't know if you guys still see it there, but it's still on television stations here. We're on streaming. I get fan mail from literally all over the world, India, Australia, Dubai. Like it's pretty awesome. And shows normally come and go. They just do. It's the nature of television. But some stick out, and Parks did. And I think one of the reasons it stuck out, and people have said this to me many, many times, is they can feel the love that is showing on screen. They can feel like that's what was happening with the people in real life. Like the characters, the love between the characters, they can feel that was real. And it was. And so that's what I did. I just, for a year and a half, just told stories. I told my stories. And then we turned it into a book. And I had I believe, I'm not exactly sure about that. I keep saying this, that I believe, but I should get the exact number, but there's around, if not more, than 60 pictures people will have not seen because, I had my phone, I was snapping pictures. Other cast members gave me pictures to put in the book. So there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And the cast contributed and the creators contributed. I sat down with Mike Shore and Greg Daniels, who told me stuff I never knew about Parks and Recreation, how the show started. I sat down with Allison Jones, the casting director. I didn't know how I got cast, and now I do. So I was able to tell these stories, and it's my concern when this was all starting was I would never want anyone to think that this is a tell-all, like, oh, he's going to tell all the dirt about what happened. And Daniel, there's 2 reasons that isn't the case. Number one is I just don't think I'm that guy who would do a book like that. I mean, not shaming anybody, do whatever the hell you want to do. I just don't think I'm that guy. But 2, I don't have the dirt because there wasn't dirt. It was 7 seasons of laughter and fun and love and heartache. There was, life happens. A lot of life happens over 7 years. There's deaths. There's disappointments, some huge disappointments, career-wise that I talk about. things I wasn't included in. And not the show's fault, but like out in the world, there's a story about People magazine that, I felt really slighted by, and it was a pretty tough time. And there's what happened at the very end with Entertainment Weekly, and the story I tell about Amy, which you got to buy the book to know it. But if you want to know who Amy Poehler is, just read the last chapter to find out what kind of human she is, what an amazing human she is, because she always had our backs. She always had our backs. So really, it's I don't know, 285, 300 pages of, I think, some really fun stories, some kind of sad stories because, like I said, life happened, but also fun stories of other situations I've been in. There's stories of Carol Burnett and Mary Tyler Moore and Dick Van Dyke and James Spader and I think Meryl Streep, and there's other, I've been around. So I think I hope that when people are done reading the book, they will have a big smile on their face. They will finally, if they don't know it already, they will realize what they were seeing on stage, on film, I guess I should say, in television, is what was happening in real life. This was 8 people, 10 people at one point who just loved each other and had a great time together every day. So yeah, it's my love letter. You know what? I've rambled for so long, Daniel. I don't even know what you asked me, just for the record. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
All I said was, how are you?
all you said was, Jim, what time is it there? And I haven't shut up. Yes, I'm very sorry about that. The thing is, I'm very passionate about it because it really, and because of this book, I've even gotten more passionate because I'm hearing stories from the cast and the crew and the creators that I never knew, which makes it even more exciting how it all came together. Amy always said, she goes, we have lightning in a bottle. And by that, she meant, you bring strangers together, because I don't know everyone's relationship, but the only tight relationship amongst the cast when the show started was Amy and Rashida Jones. They were dear friends. But other than that, some people knew each other a little here and there, but basically there was a bunch of strangers that came together, and that does not always work out. It might work out for a show and the show looks good, but it can be tough, behind the scenes, and it just wasn't. There was never, I never heard one actor be crappy to another actor. I never, like, I've been in, if you want the dirt, you always get hair and makeup. They got the dirt on everything. I never got any dirt from those people. Those lazy SOBs never told me anything. We had dance parties. When we would get remade up after lunch, you have to go in for what they call touch-ups for hair and makeup. There were dance parties in the trailers. It just was different. It became the show that other actors wanted to be guesting on because the word was out. What a great time everybody was having. And not just a great time, which is, who doesn't want that? But the quality of the damn show never, ever let up. It never let up. And I am not a writer. As far as, a blank page and I can just start writing and create characters and funny lines. I'm not that person. I'm an improviser. I can improvise stuff, but I'm not a writer per se. And so I would be blown away week after week that these people came up with another episode that would just blow me away. They were incredible. So anyway, so again, you could probably hear it in me. I'm so proud. I'm so proud that through some miracle in life, whether it's God or whoever you believe in, whatever, the angels, whomever, that I ended up on this show. It's a gift that is just kept on giving. From the day I got that job, it is the gift that is kept on giving. And so I kind of ramble because I get excited. Sorry.
Know for a fact that as soon as this book comes out, I'm buying a copy. But now that I've heard your sensual voice in my ears for so long, I'm downloading the audiobook too.
Oh, good. I hope it comes across. Dude, the audiobook was a whole nother beast. I do a lot of voice work. And I go, like today, after we do our interview, I have to go over to Universal and do some stuff. And I'll be there for an hour, maybe 2 hours. But this audiobook, it was 3 days, 9 hours a day. And damn, it's a lot. But they're used to doing this, these engineers and these directors who do audiobooks. So they had apple wedges so that my mouth would stay moist. And they had all these little tricks because they'd stop me and go, Jim, you're sounding a little tired. Why don't you walk around the studio? And they really, it's a whole business that I was not aware of. But yeah, the audiobook I think will be fun. And also what they did was because there's other voices in the book, like Mike Schur and Greg Daniels, the creators of the show, since they interviewed, and Chris Pratt and Rob Lowe. Anyway, these other people are in the book too. They hired other actors to do their voices, which is super fun. And one of the actors that we hired is a guy who recurred on the show. His name is Jim Meskimen, and I just loved it. Like here was a guy who he probably did 8 or 9 episodes, and he ends up being in my audiobook. So I think the audiobook could be a lot of fun.
That sounds lovely, but what I wouldn't give to hear your Chris Pratt.
Oh, yes, imagine. First of all, speaking of doing other things, when I auditioned for Parks, I auditioned for Ron Swanson. That is the role I auditioned for, which, in no world does it make any sense that that Nick Offerman didn't play Ron Swanson. I mean, it's perfection. It's everything it should be. But thankfully, I did something that intrigued them enough to say, well, bring that dummy back for this role. Let's see what he can do with this. And so, but yeah, I really am grateful because, Nick Offerman and I used to always say we were journeyman actors, which meant, very blessed. I did a lot of guest spots. You do pilots that don't get picked up, but, busy enough to make a decent living. I was the guy that people would come up and go, oh, you look so familiar. And I always thought, well, that's lovely because it means you're out there enough that you got a career going on. But then a show like Parks and Rec comes along, and that just changes. It just changes. It goes from the occasional, oh, you look familiar, to every single day of my life. Jerry, Garry, Larry, Terry, whatever the hell they want to call me. I've had people yell at me. I was leaving a restaurant once, and somebody, as they were driving by, screamed, "Thanks for ruining the Harvest Festival, Jerry." Like, just crazy stuff. And of course, I had to yell back, "It wasn't me. Tom let little Sebastian out, not me." So I got to defend my Jerry. I got to give him his love. So it really changed everything, and even career wise, I mean, Chris Pratt, because of Parks and Recreation, is a international movie star. I'm doing a new project with Aubrey Plaza, and I said to her the other day, I said, Aubrey, I guarantee it. I guarantee she will win an Oscar. She is so incredibly talented. So this show is, Adam Scott's got his show Severance, which is so crazy and amazing. People, check that out if you haven't seen Severance. So the show just opened up so many doors for all of us. And I can speak for all I know, because I've had conversations with all of us when we're in group checks, texts and everything. We are all incredibly grateful. And we all know where it started. And we're thankful. Everyone's very thankful.
Yeah, it's just a shame about Amy Poehler, isn't it? Like, what's she really done with her career?
Yeah, I feel bad for Amy, and mostly, yeah, you know what? I don't know if you know this, but boy, this is a secret. I probably shouldn't reveal this, but I have Amy cut my lawn every Wednesday, and I give her $20. I'm like, you know what? The girl's got kids. Let me help her out a little bit. Let's see what I can do. I'm that kind of guy, Daniel. I'm just that kind of guy. Yeah, that poor thing.
I don't want to throw this word around willy-nilly, but you are a hero.
Oh boy, that's such a big word, but it does apply. I think it absolutely, some would call me a hero, some would call me a genius, and by some, I mean me. This is what I would call me. So, for sure.
I don't want to know what Amy would call you after this bit.
Oh, you don't know. You don't want to know. No. And, the thing, I could ramble about Amy all day because she's so amazing. But the other thing about Amy is I think she's 8 years, maybe 9 years younger than me. But on that set, she was the mother. She was our leader. She checked in with us. How are things going? That's just who she is as a person. And I just, in the last week, I shot a pilot for something else. And one of the other actors had worked with Amy. And we sat there for a half hour, just, shooting her praises to each other, because she's a special person. And not just, we know super talented and beautiful and all the stuff, but she's incredibly kind. And in my world, kindness is, boy, that's near the top of the list. It doesn't cost any money to be kind. It's easy to avoid being kind. Just say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. That's not Amy. Amy is the opposite. She is whatever she can do to help out, but she's also smart. She taught me to say the word no in this business. She said it to me. She goes, Jim, the word no is super powerful, because there was something going on. I talk about it in the book, and I didn't know what to do. And she said, I would say no. And her advice was perfect. And I've learned that since then, the word no is really powerful. It can change everything. It can change a deal that's been offered. It can change, in the case of the story I'm talking about, there was a project I was offered, and it really would not have been overall a good project for me to do. But I was, like, oh, they're offering me this and this. And she said, she gave me all of her reasoning, and she goes, sometimes no is good. And I said no, and I was so grateful, just so grateful. Yeah, she's the best.
See, it's annoying that you said that because I've been collecting Parks and Rec casts like Infinity Stones. I've interviewed now yourself, Aubrey Plaza. I've interviewed Chris Pratt. But Amy is definitely like one of my dream interviews. So when you tell me like how lovely she is, I kind of just think that's annoying. Like, if you just told me she was horrific, I'd feel relieved that I haven't interviewed her yet.
Well, listen, let's re-edit this. Amy Poehler, she's the worst. Come on, okay, so edit all this other crap I said. Let's get down to it. No, I can't even. You just can't. You can't meet her and not go, oh my God, do I love that girl? She's just, and she's, again, I'll keep coming back to the word motherly. I don't know if she would like me to be saying that. I think that's a lovely word, but she's, a powerful actor and producer and director and writer. She does it all. But she also takes care of people. And in my mind, that's motherly, for a woman, and fatherly if a man does it. So yeah, she's the best.
If she doesn't take motherly, I will. I'd happily be called motherly.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Look at us, just a couple of motherly guys with sweaty boobs.
Exactly. Dude, I was a mama's boy, and I talk about my mother died during the run of Parks, and there's a whole chapter about that and how great everybody was, because I was big time a mama's boy. I mean, I was the guy, even as an adult, with my own life, my own people in my life. Mom was, one of the first calls, good or bad. If something exciting happened or something awful, mom was the call, and so motherly's good. Motherly is a very good thing.
My mum, she will be posting this interview on her Facebook, and God bless her, she's never seen a single episode of Parks and Rec.
But she'll do it for you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Her Facebook page is like a fan group to me if you like brush aside all of the Minions memes.
I know, but that's a mom. That's exactly what it should be. When I see, you watch different court cases, or you hear about this thing or this thing, and the parents are always like, my son or daughter would never do that. And it's so obvious they did it. But I always give grace to the mom and dad, because I get it. I totally get it. If your mom and dad don't have your back, who does? So I totally get it. But that's lovely that she does that. And it's so weird because, I talk with your mom a lot, and off camera, she really doesn't like you. She really doesn't like you. So it's weird that she posts all that stuff. But hey, whatever. That's your family dynamic. None of my business.
Right, anyway, that was the end of the interview, so thanks for coming, I suppose. Bye. We touched on Nick Offerman earlier. He's written loads of books. Did he give you any advice when it came to writing yours, and more importantly, for signing them? Because, my God, I've seen you going through it, signing book after book.
Dude, I didn't know any of this. Nick has done, I think I have 3 of his books, so he must have done 3. And yes, spoke to him before all this came to be. It's so funny, and not just him, but I think, boy, Aziz might have told me this, and maybe Rob Lowe, I forget, but everyone's like, okay, it's all about the advance. Get a good advance, because it's going to be more work than you ever anticipated. They're going to want more from you than you ever thought they could ever want from you, meaning the publishers and whomever. And my God, they were right. So yeah, we did a decent advance, but yeah, like I had to sign over 3,000 author pages that will be, I guess, attached to books. There's the interview process has already started, like the Zooms and then the press interview, that type of stuff. But I leave, I think, November 15th, and I start a 10-day or maybe a 15, whatever it is. I do LA, New York, Boston, Miami, Chicago. Like, we're hitting the states. So yeah, it's a whole lot. The good news is, as you can tell, I chat, I talk, so, and I'm talking about a topic I love. So it will be fine. I think I'll really enjoy it. Like even this conversation, because I was told, oh, you're going to hate Daniel. He's the worst. The normal stuff people say about you.
Have you been talking to my mum again?
Yes. Oh, God. And your family. We had dinner the other day, and I'm telling you, Yeah, we meant to invite you, and then we realized, we don't want him there.
I'm so stealing your dogs.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
They're mine.
No, but so, yeah, but dude, it's a lot. It's a lot more than I ever anticipated. And as much as you can be warned, because I was warned, these guys told me this is what it's going to be like. It's a lot. Retta, she played Donna Meagle on the show. She's one of my best girls in the world. I love Retta. And she's been through it too. She wrote a book, and I was pre-warned what this would be, and they did not lie. So it's been crazy. But again, because it's a topic I love, and I am someone who just talks all day long anyway, I might as well be doing it. What the hell?
Well, I imagine there's only so much you can include in one book. So what was the one story that you wish you could have included in this book but didn't for whatever reason?
Well, there's some great stories that they took out just for page, for timing. So yeah, there's some great stories, which they've already reached out to me, the book editors. Even during the middle of this, I'm in the middle of putting this book together, and they said, listen, we have an idea. We see that you've guested on over 200 shows over the years. You must have unbelievable stories from some of these shows. And I kind of do. So who knows? Maybe they'll be like, the king of the guest stars, and I'll write a book about that. But as far as a specific story that didn't make it, wow. I think a fun story that I loved, and this is, some will know this show and some won't, but you know who Drew Carey is?
Yep.
We had a show called The Drew Carey Show. And I did a couple of those, a guest spot. And what I loved about it was when it came out, it was a big hit pretty quick. So the day I get there, Drew, who's another wonderful human being, a lovely human being, said to me, let me show you around. He goes, I think you're going to like it around here. Now, that's unusual because he's the head of the show. He's the lead of the show. He doesn't have to spend time. I'm a guest star. I'm just going to be here a couple of different times. But he showed me around. They had satellite television in the green room. They had games. They had all of it. And then he said, take a look at this. And he takes me because, there's a thing called craft services. And that's where you get to munch and chew and snack all day long. It's lovely. But some craft services are better than others, Daniel. They just are. And so he says to me, Jim, let me tell you something about showbiz. You know how well your show is doing by how good the craft services is. And he takes me to his. They had full-blown cooked turkeys and hams. He's like, we're doing well. He goes, down the road, when this starts going away, I'll know that this show is coming to an end. And that he's not wrong. That is what happens. Once the show is super hot, they're throwing everything at it. They're making everybody happy. But then, the years go on, the numbers go down. So it's all of a sudden there's only a ham, not a turkey. And then there's no ham at all. And then you got little, zipper pouches of pretzels. That's all you got. So yeah, but I love Drew Carey. He's such a sweet man. And now he's been the host of The Price is Right for, my God, I don't know how many years. But anyway, yeah, so that kind of fun story didn't make it. But I didn't even realize myself how many guest appearances I've done on different shows. It was brought up to me. And I think it was either the first time I did Seth Meyers or Jimmy Kimmel. I forget which one of them, but their first thing they said to me was, what show haven't you been on? And then I'm lucky. And this is a stupid, embarrassing story that happened to me in real life a couple of months ago. This girl comes up to me. She goes, oh my God, I love your work. And 95% of the time it's going to be about Parks and Recreation, which is lovely. But she goes, oh, I loved you on Criminal Minds. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I think you're confusing me with somebody else. She goes, no, I don't think so. I said, no, I've never done a Criminal Minds. Daniel, she pulls up her phone. She pulls up IMDb. I did do a Criminal Minds. I had totally forgotten. And it was like the penultimate series finale episode. It was a huge episode. And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Cause there I am. Like I'm with Sharon Lawrence. And anyway, oh my God, so stupid. But then I realized the good and the bad of it is I'm getting old and forgetting stuff. The good of it is I've done a lot of stuff. Like I have a lot of credits, and that I am so grateful for, because this is not a fair business. This being an actor, it's a ridiculous business. I have friends who are so much more talented than I could ever dream of being, who can't even get agents. You know what I'm saying? It's a very unfair business. So whether because I'm a character actor and, I like to think I bring something to the table, I've studied and I think I know my craft. So hopefully that helps too. But there's, I think, a lot of luck involved, and there's so many things. And like for women, not to get on a rant here, but it's tough for women. Once a woman starts getting a little older, they're just forgotten about. And then they have to wait until they can play the grandmother roles to work again. Whereas with a guy, I'm allowed to get old. I was allowed to go gray, and so anyway, it's a very unfair business. And so the fact that I've survived it is pretty amazing. And I'm thankful literally thankful every day. My family knows when I'm working, I'm a happy camper. Like even this pilot I just did, we had to work one of the weekend days, which is pretty unusual. But just logistically for the space where we had to be, I didn't care. Yeah, let's bring me to a soundstage. I'm happy when I'm on a soundstage. So, yeah, I'm a lucky dude.
You know what's funny? Off the back of that Criminal Minds story, I was speaking to my wife and I said, "Oh, Parks and Rec, I'm going to speak to Jim." And then before I could even finish saying your name, she was like, "He was in the Santa Clauses."
That I remember. Yes, I was. That's, the other thing that last year I did a thing with Octavia Spencer for Coca-Cola. It was a short film, and I played a Santa Claus in that too. Which, we can see why I get those roles.
Because you're a brilliant actor.
And that's it. That's it, Daniel. Good for you.
No, I've got you.
Ho, ho, ho. Anyway, now let's not talk about my sisters.
Zing.
Hello, everybody. You've been a great crowd. Ding, ding, ding. No, but I couldn't promote it at the time because the strike was on. So which is also weird too. But no, the Santa Clauses, that was with Tim Allen. And we shot it in an area called Santa Clarita. It's at the Disney Ranch. It was 100 and something degrees. We shot it in July. We were in the Santa outfits, but they were so great. Like, when you do a high profile production, there's some dollars behind it. So they built these little mini tents, each our individual tents that had these big air conditioning machines in the tent. But thank God for it. But it also helped the hair and makeup because we were just flop sweating. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. But tell her thank you. That was so fun. I totally forgot about that one.
I'm going to pretend, by the way, that Santa Claus's bit was like through my hard work and research. It wasn't just a fluke because my wife brought it up.
Yeah, no, Daniel, I can tell just the limited time I've known you, it was not yours. But anyway, moving on.
But it's a good thing I've got a pretty face, right?
Oh boy. Wait, let me try some of my acting skills. Oh, yes, Daniel, yes. Wait, no, you know what? No, let me try again. Oh, you're right about that, Daniel. Oh, you are one good. No, boy. You know what? I can't. Even my Emmy won't get me to that range of acting anymore. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I know you're lying through your teeth, but I will take it. That was the exact way my wife delivered her vows at our wedding. So it's not that long until book release day. How are you going to celebrate it?
I'm going to be on the road doing the book tour. So but I actually have some family members who want to go to certain things. Like most of my family's in the Midwest, like in the Chicago area, Indiana. And, some are going to some want to go to, I'm doing an interview. I don't think I'm supposed to say which places, but these late night shows and some of the morning shows, all the stuff you do. And they want to be there for that. So I will have family around me, which will be fun. So I would imagine we'll just do a lot of heroin and booze.
Wait, sorry, you haven't started on the heroin because I've been off my nut for hours.
Oh, seriously? I don't go see that. I hate to say this, Daniel. You might have a problem. I don't start till 1 o'clock.
All right, you're boring. We get it.
Now, granted, I go until noon the next day, but I have that one clean hour, and I'll tell you, I think it keeps me grounded.
And I'm relieved I got you in the clean hour.
You got me in the clean hour. Yeah. But wait, what is it? What is it you young people say? I'm still tweaking.
God bless you for including me in young people.
Oh, please. You look like you're 20. I'm going to say 26.
And that's why I prefer you to Amy Poehler. She can get in the bin.
How old are you, do you say?
I'm 31.
Oh, please. You're still a baby. My God. My God, Daniel.
No, I know I'm young. I'm just fishing for compliments. Now, as you said, you're going to be doing loads of promo for this book. You've been doing promo for Parks and Recs for years, so I can't even begin to imagine how many times you've been asked, the same questions like, what name do you prefer? Like Barry, Terry, Jerry. So I'm going to give you the chance. What's the one question you've never been asked about Parks and Rec that you want to answer? And I'll ask you now as if it was like totally my idea.
Okay. Wow, good one. Okay. So Jim, in the show, you can paraphrase this wherever you want, but I'm going to literally set this all up for you. So you could almost edit, have me say it, you can repeat it and be done. Jim, you're so good looking. You're so talented. Your eyes are piercing. Your voice is a melody of just a cacophony of smoothness and rich delight. Your skin is flawless. So, Jim, that being said, is your penis as big as Jerry Gergich's?
Jim, I've actually got a question for you.
Sure, go ahead, Daniel. What do you got to say?
I'd say you're a firm 3 out of 10 in the looks department.
You motherfucker.
Again, weirdly, one of the vows my wife said to me at our wedding.
Hey, for the record, I'm not looking for truth on this show.
Don't worry, my mum doesn't just say bad things about me. Those were her words about you.
Oh, she does too when I ask her to. I'll tell you that. Like, yeah, tell me I'm a bad boy. Come on. And I call her Daniel's mom. That's what I call her. Come on, Daniel's mom. I've been bad. You let me know how bad I've been.
I'll tell you what. Bet you this one doesn't make her Facebook after all.
You're probably... Well, thankfully, she doesn't listen to it. So it'll be fine.
You do know her after all. And now, in the weirdest segue ever, I have to ask you about your penis.
Yes, feel free.
Is your penis the same size as Jerry's?
No, I'm much bigger than Jerry. There is... No, it's so funny because, in the show, for those who don't know, there's a reference to my character. He's leaving a doctor's office, and I was being checked for mumps. And so it's a mockumentary style show. So we talk to the camera, different people speak to the camera. And so the doctor looks at the camera and says, after I'm leaving the office, that man has the largest penis I have ever seen. I don't even know if he has mumps. I was too distracted by the largest penis I have ever seen. Now, that is, of course, something we all want to hear. Now, they also, I found out later, shot it the other direction, where they had the actor say, that man has the smallest penis I have ever seen. Now, I would have killed them had they gone with that rendition.
No, because then it goes from a mockumentary to like a true-to-life documentary.
To a dickumentary, a very small dickumentary.
Nice.
There you go. That's right. Improvisation, my friend. That's what it is. No, but the thing is, the way it even came about was, I found out later one of the writers had been standing next to me at the urinal and apparently snuck a peek, and he saw the goods, and so it just made sense to go with the largest penis that man had ever seen.
You weren't even in the urinals. You were in the corridor like 8 feet away from the urinals. It just sort of trails in.
Oh my God. And the water was so deep, and it's a whole thing. Yeah. It's a whole thing. Actually, what I have to do, it's kind of weird, but get used to stuff, I have to strap it to my ankle because a lot of times if I'm running, it could be troublesome. It could be troublesome.
That's handy because if it's like a really tiring run, you can just lean on it like a tripod.
Exactly. Yes. I look at a picture of myself naked, immediately turns into a tripod.
Weirdly, that's what I do too. I just look at a photo of you naked and boom, it's there.
Absolutely. Hey, you're human. Don't fight it. But here's why we know none of that story is true. Number one, I began by saying after I run. So I think we know that whole story might have been made up.
I love that there was only a part one, but that's all it really needed, just one part.
I'm a truth teller, Daniel. I'm a truth teller.
Genuinely, Jim, I said Amy was like my dream interview. She's gone right down the rankings.
Ugh. Yuck.
She's really let herself down here.
Let me tell you something right now. Wait, hold on one second. What's that? Amy just showed up. So I'm going to give you a choice right now. You can keep talking to me or I can bring in
Okay, so Amy, talk to me about Inside Out 2.
You son of a bitch. Amy, no, go back in the house, Amy. No. I don't know what's going on. I think he has COVID. Yeah, and I don't want you to get it. I don't want you to get it through the wires. Yeah, go back in. I mean, he looks like he's got something. Something's going wrong. Yeah.
I cannot wait to edit this so I come across as hilarious and you just sit there silently with nothing to say.
Not a damn thing. Oh, God.
Honestly, but this might be the funniest episode of the podcast I've recorded. You couldn't have been better cast in Parks and Recreation, but there is another role I think you'd have absolutely killed, and that is Tim Waltz on SNL.
Oh, it's so funny that probably, I would imagine, won't happen. But I will say, the day that all came out, I was just, how they say, oh, your phone blew up. And that happens every once in a while. And CNN chose 4 people who could play Tim Waltz. And I was one of the 4. And my God, it's I've heard a lot about it. It'd be fun. People who know my political leanings would know that I'm a big fan of Tim Walz, and it would be an honor. It would definitely be an honor.
Well, Jim Gaffigan can't play him forever.
I know. And it's funny. I hope their brakes on their car are working correctly.
And there's my headline. Jim O'Heir kills entire SNL cast.
Exactly.
Yeah, if only you knew someone who was like super famous from SNL, like a really iconic alum who could get you in there.
Yeah, like someone who's beloved there. I just don't. Wait, hold on. Amy, I'm trying to do an interview. Can you shut up? Anyway, I can't think of anybody. No, well, that's life. Sometimes you get the break, sometimes you don't. Amy Poehler, come on, I'm doing something here. Oh, she doesn't let up. Dear God. Yes, you can have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Go ahead.
Can I?
No. You know what? You can have a Vegemite. I've had one of those, and you can have that.
Sorry, I'm lower than Amy Poehler in this situation.
Oh, Daniel, yeah.
What?
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to edit this interview, my friend.
Yeah, all it's going to say is Jim, all the terrible things I've said, but you'll be like, Jim O'Heir says about Chris Pratt, asshole, get out, he's the worst.
It will just be me dubbing over your voice saying so Aubrey Plaza once punched a nun 3 times.
Yes, totally your voice. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, bud, thank you so much for this. I've loved every single millisecond of it.
Oh, this was my pleasure, Daniel. Truly. Thank you. I've done my research. You're a busy man yourself, my friend. That's awesome.
I'm not busy enough to miss out traveling around America with you if you need.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Anyway, yeah, no, but seriously, you're interviewing everybody. That's so great.
Thank you so much, bud. That's really kind of you.
No, but I mean, you have a huge platform. That's exciting. You're young, and there's so much more in front of you. Though, I just spoke to your doctor. Anyway, you know what? That's his conversation. But good luck with everything. And as I tell people, get your affairs in order. But oh my God, that's terrible. I shouldn't even joke like that. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. That is, but I will say, people think because I played Jerry, oh, he must be the super sweet guy. And I like to think I'm a sweet man, but I do go, my humor is very dark. My humor is very blue, and it's just who I am. So apologies.
You probably should have opened with that before, this whole interview.
Exactly. Yeah. Can you edit that and put that at the beginning and say, hi, I'm Jim O'Heir, and I apologize for everything you're about to hear.
Thank you so much. I want to do this every single day of the week.
This was super fun. Yeah, believe me, I do a lot of these. Some are more fun than others. This was awesome. Truly awesome.
Just know if I hear you say this on another podcast, I will find you.
It will not happen. And do me one favor. Just tell your mom I said yes to that thing she wanted to try.
Anyway, bye, Jim. Bye, Jim. Bye.
Bye, Daniel. Bye, Daniel. Goodbye, dude.